Alright, we finished the end walls. They're all done. We're getting to pretty close to getting the plastic up on this thing, but we're supposed to have a big storm today and it's kind of windy right now. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do that today. But what we do need to do is we need to put up these metal U-channels. The ones on the side here are a double U-channel and they hold your plastic. You use these wires called wiggle wire, if you guys have heard of them. You'll see that when we put the plastic on. But this is a double U-channel so that we have a wire that holds the top plastic and then there'll be a wire that holds the roll-up sides. You hold it up here in the middle, flush with the string, if you can, and I'll make sure that the end of it is where we want it, and clamp it. You're going to have to clamp the middle and that end. You're not touching the string with your hands, right? You want it down to the string. Alright. Now, you clamp the middle.
Got it?
Yes.
There and there, right?
Yes, top and bottom.
Maybe I better get a drill bit that's sharp. It's an exciting day. We finally get to put the plastic on the hoop house. If we can get everybody up here and ready to pull it over before the wind picks up. Wowie, that sun is very bright. So we've been waiting because it's been stormy, it's been windy, and you cannot pull this long plastic if it's windy because the wind's just gonna grab it and whip it away from you. It's a little bit breezy right now, but it's the best we're gonna get. So as soon as we can get Ocean and Tyler up here and everybody prepared, we're gonna pull this plastic over. Picking it up in Kansas.
Okay, so the way we do this is we attach tennis balls to the edge. I've put one on each corner. Now I need to put two spaced out in the center here. Honey, where's that rope you had? I'm gonna take my shoes off so I'm not walking on the plastic with my shoes on. Okay, let's see. Let's go to about right here. And the reason for the tennis balls is because you can't connect a rope to the plastic itself. So you take the tennis ball, you just stick it underneath the plastic like that. But first you take your rope and you put a slip knot in it. So you put your tennis ball in there. Put your slip knot over the tennis ball, which is harder to do in the middle than it was on the ends. And then pull it tight.
And now you can throw the rope up over the hoop house, and then you can pull it over because the tennis ball won't let the rope slip off of the plastic. And I'm probably gonna have to go over there and undo. Wait a minute. Everybody pull. Ready? Yes. If you get snagged on anything, stop. Too far.
Hell, I was going to bring it all the way to this side. You keep walking it down. Huh?
Now you may want to go over there and tie those ropes down to something in case the wind picks up. So you're going to take your plastic up there, you're going to bring it over probably at least 8 inches, okay? It's supposed to be a foot on each end, okay? Once you have it on there, you're going to start at the very peak. You take one end of this and stick it in the track like that. Okay, then as you put it in, you're gonna pull it this way, then this way. This way, you're just gonna go back and forth like that.
That's simple.
It's super simple. The hardest part is gonna be making sure that you have it like pulled evenly so that when you pull to the other end, you don't have a bunch of bubbles.
Is there any difference in wiggle wire?
No, all the wiggle wire is the same. But you have to start at the very peak and go down one side. And then you go back to the peak and go down the other side. There we go. We got the plastic up over the top and it's connected to the ends so it can't blow away. Now we're going to go down through and put the wiggle wire in this track up here, and that will all the way down, and that will hold the sides. We're going to do this side and then we're going to do the other side. Hang on, hang on. Okay. It's been about 3 weeks since we started this hoop house, and I have no idea what kind of footage I have put into this video or anything. I don't watch the footage before I edit it all together at the very end, so I really have no idea what you guys have seen, what I've said, if anything. But we're on the last day. Finally, it's been about 3 weeks, I think, since we started this, and I thought it was going to take about 3 days. Sadly mistaken. The screws take forever to put in. Then you got to deal with windy days when you can't do certain stuff. But we're finally on the very last day, and I want to show you guys doing this side. Now, we have finished this side of the hoop house. We put up the roll-up panel and all that. You guys didn't see any of that yet because we wanted to make sure we knew what we were doing before we showed you. So with you today. We're gonna do all of this side. So the plan here, what we have to do is we put up corner baffles of plastic right here. I don't know what they're for. I don't know why they're on there, but we have to put that on. Then we put up the roll up side and the anti-billow ropes. And I think that's about it. Then, oh, we have to put up the gearbox over here. That's what we have to, we need the drill. We have to put up the handle that will roll up the side. Ugh, tractors are out today, making it dusty. Okay, so this track is what the gearbox will slide up on when you roll up the sides. You want to give me the nut and the washer so I can put it on the inside?
Sticking through enough?
Shoot, I can't reach it either.
Got enough bolt?
Yeah. Hold on to it now. Alright, you got it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Alright, now we got to set this channel up there and mark it for where we need to drill it. So you don't want this channel to sit on the ground because you have to be able to get the gearbox on it. Plus, it has to move. It moves in and out when you roll it up. It's kind of hard to explain. You'll see when we finish. We'll roll it up and show you. But he's just marking where he needs to drill the hole through it.
Okay.
So we drilled the hole up there. So we're just gonna slide it on here. Oh, we're not gonna slide it on there. Hold that. We've got to put a nut on first.
And a washer.
No, there's no washer on this one.
No washer.
And this channel has to stay 6 inches out from the edge of the hoop house. So now we slide the channel on there. And we'll measure. We need to go a little bit more. The directions say 4 to 6 inches, but we found on the other side it works better right at about 6 inches. So that's 6 inches. Put a nut on the other side. And you don't want this jammed between the two nuts. Like, you don't want to tighten those nuts up real tight because, like I was saying, this channel has to be able to move back and forth. So it needs to be able to swing freely. So
Want to snug it a little?
nope, we're gonna leave it just like that until we put the gearbox on. Okay, next step is to put on the baffles. There's one on each end, and they sent us a roll of plastic for that. So they sent us this roll of excess plastic, 6 millimeter plastic at 6 feet by, I don't know, because we're not actually using it. When we put the top on, the plastic hung down quite a ways on each side, and we saved that plastic right here in this bag, and this is what we're using to do the baffles. So that way we can save that roll for something else. So if you're like us and you like to save extra parts because you never know when you might use them, then you got to kind of think ahead a little bit. If we had known that the top plastic was as long as it was, because they don't tell you how big it is. It might have said it on the package, I don't know. But what we should have done was started the top plastic only about a foot past the tracks, and then pulled all the excess to one side, we could have had a bigger piece of plastic that way. But the directions say to center it side to side and end to end, so that was what we did. But luckily, the parts that we did cut off ended up big enough to do these baffles here. You're in the way, love. Grab a wiggle wire. So we got the second baffle on, so that's done. Next up is the roll up curtain. So we need to get the curtain out of this box here, which will be, oh yeah, we also have an extra 40 feet of the plastic that went on the end walls. So we have that, and then we have this extra roll. That roll is the curtain. Gonna lay it out here, and then we'll pick it up and attach it to that bottom track with the wiggle wire. Hey, don't whack me with that. See, you don't even try not to whack me. You just flip it around.
How do you not?
You just don't.
You know, the wiggle wire is going to do what it's going to do.
Hold on to it, so it's not flying
I can't hold on to it and do this
too.
too.
Oh, baloney. Don't tell me can't. Can't never did nothing.
Yeah, well, can't never met me either.
And tape up the end of the pipe so when we push it through, it doesn't tear the plastic. Okay, so we can go ahead and, like, if you just sit right here, we'll start the first one in. It's gonna be a pain in the butt with the wind blowing. Don't go too close because I'll have to tape it after you screw it.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
I suppose I got a dull screw right off the bat.
Yep, looks pretty dull. And this is what takes the longest on this whole hoop house, guys.
Oops.
Okay, so he screwed the joint together. I'm gonna tape over it so that we can slide it into the pocket without the head of the screw ripping anything. And then we're gonna do that 9 more times and get this pipe into the pocket. Okay, we got the pipe into the bottom pocket. So now we have these pipe clips, and we've got to screw one onto the pipe where every rafter is, so you just take it, lean it up against the pipe, and push on like that. So it just clips on, and then you can put a screw through it. So we're just going to put those on, screw them all down, and that way it'll hold the pipe in the pocket so you can roll it up. We'll get the anti-billow ropes on. That'll hold the panel in so that we can hook up the gearbox down here and roll it up. Once we get that gearbox on and roll it up, then we're done. Then we just have the shade fabric to put on. That didn't come with the Hoophouse. I bought that separately. But yeah, so we're done. Once we put these billow ropes on, get the gearbox on, roll up the side, then we can call the NRCS and have them come out and inspect it. And what they do is they just come out and they measure the square footage to make sure that we built the size we told them we were going to build, because they do pay based on square footage. So they'll come out and they'll measure it, make sure they know what the square footage is, and that's what they pay by. So let's finish this up. You know, I wonder, because it's not actually that windy today, it's just a breeze. I wonder if we could go ahead and put the gearbox on and roll this up, because it's not the ropes that keep it up, right? If we could roll that up, it would make it a lot easier to put those bottom clips on.
Can't get the rope, it's tight, but we got to have it up in order to put the ropes on it.
No, we did the last one with the ropes down because it was windy. Let's just go ahead and put the gearbox on and see if we can roll it up with this very slight breeze that we have. And that way it'll be up and out of the way to put those bottom clips on. So we just put it on here like that. And that's it. There's nothing that holds it on there. It just slides up and down all on its own like that. So, but now we're gonna have to cut off the pipe and drill a hole through it, because it has to connect on here. I'll take that if you want to grab the handle that puts it up. Okay. Now, when you roll these up, you always want to roll them to the inside so that the water can run off. Other way, babe. And it takes a very long time for it to go up. And it's a very long run with one handle down there. So I'm warning you right now, there is no way you're going to get this to go up perfectly evenly. So I'm going to put the camera down so I can help it. All right, with some finagling, we got the side panel rolled up. The two ends are never going to roll up the same. I don't know why, but the middle rolls up more than the two ends. That end has the weight of the gearbox, so it's pulling down on the pipe. And then this end This end down here doesn't roll up as much. So what we did was we took the wiggle wire out and we pulled the plastic up higher on both ends to try to get it to roll up more evenly, and this is how it ended up. Let's see if you can see it. So that end takes a dive right there, and that's from the weight of the gearbox, which holds it down the whole time you're rolling it up. So I was down there like lifting up on the gearbox while Eddie was rolling it. So then it goes across there pretty straight, and then it goes down here and it takes a little bit of a dive again. So you know what I say? Who cares? As long as they're up so that the wind can get through here. The only time you're only gonna put them down once a year, depending on where you live. Here, we're gonna put them down in probably, I don't know, November or December, and then we'll pick it back up in March. So twice a year, we just have to put it down for a couple months in the wintertime. Other than that, they're just gonna be up all the time, so I'm not gonna worry about it. If I have to come up here and get 3 people to help me roll that thing up, I will. I mean, it's not the best design, but it's just basically the same design as any hoop house you're gonna buy. I did watch some videos of people putting these up, and they had different roll-up sides, but they worked the same way. So whew. All we have left now to do now is put on the anti-billow ropes and then get the shade fabric on it. Okay, so for these anti-billow ropes, they gave us 2 of these great big reels of rope. All we do is we tie a knot in the end of it, just like that, and stick it just like that. Now we're going to string this. If Eddie would grab the reel, please. So we're just going to bring it up and through the top one, and you want to pull them tight, and then we're just gonna go up and down just like that. Hard to do it one-handed. Okay. And then we get to right here where I've got 2 clips. We're gonna go into the first one like this. We're gonna cut off the rope and tie a knot in it so it ends right there, and then we'll just start again right there and continue on. So that's the ropes installed. So as I was saying earlier, there's 3 ropes. So again, here's where one ended. And the next one started, and what I did when I pull this rope through, it's hard to do because you really need 2 hands to get into the clip, but once you get the rope in there, I just made a mark up against the bracket here with a pen, and then I took the rope out and tied the knot on that mark, and that kept the ropes nice and tight. You want these ropes really tight so that when you put the roll upside down, those ropes hold it in really good and it won't billow out in the wind. But this is the middle of April. I don't plan on putting those sides down this year, that's for sure. But we're finally done. So it's a 26 by 48, and it took a lot of work. It took a lot more work than I thought it would. If this was all built out of wood, it would have got done a lot faster, but because you're trying to do the self-tapping screws into the metal rafters, it just takes a lot longer. I'm glad it's done, and now my sweet Ben can come to Alabama and help me plant it.